it's kind of scary. Like, oh no, I'm not going to have a straight life. Oh no, what am I going to do?
It was like it was radioactive. Like I would take construction jobs and it was like I was being poisoned.
You feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
You're young and you're awake and you're like, I'm dying. This is killing me.
Shown courage and grinding it out
Because
for their family.
It does take courage.
Yeah.
I just don't have it. I'm saying I consider them people who, in the real world. And in my life, I don't think I really live in the real world that much. I live in my self-invented Henry world.
Right.
And I saw this video with Lady Gaga. She said, she goes like, reality. I hate reality. I was like, there you go.
I do envy those who are able to put up with really terrible, thankless jobs and get by, because I don't think I can do it anymore. This despite having a current reliable day job that's probably the best thing I've had since working in college as an AV tech, where I just sat around all day for the most part fixing computers and TVs. Currently I'm in agriculture, contributing overall to our food that you eat. So it's fun to say that whenever someone brings up a negative of my bisexuality, among other things, I can say, well, I have a hand in everything you're eating. So whenever you're enjoying a meal, drinking a milkshake, know that I had my hand in that one way or another. But the thing is, I'm tired. I'm tired of writing scripts that gather digital dust, tired of projects being completed at a snail's pace, if at all, tired of people expecting everything from me to help their vision but not giving anything back in return. To clarify, that statement does not apply to anyone I am working with currently, quite the opposite actually. The people I'm working with now are the enablers of this next step in my life, paired with my continued support from both my husbands, one who has always done a better job networking and communicating with people, which has led me to working with the likes of TJ Kirk from Onion Nuggets and Malcolm from Channel Awesome, along with other things such as the interview with Frederick Fox, who's behind the Star Fox, a Fox in Space animated show. These people have motivated me to take that risk and move forward into becoming my own self-sustained creative. Not that I intend to fly off and be independent. The plan is to build up an audience and be able to collaborate and combine forces with other like-minded people at that level. Ever since the incidents involving other successful people such as Illuminati and James Somerton, I no longer see YouTube or creativity at all as some competitive landscape. And to give all those would-be influencers and video makers a reality check, including myself perhaps, 0.3% of people on YouTube make more than $5,000 per month. 0.3%. 48% of influencers make less than $15,000 a year. While we're throwing numbers around, 97% of independent films do not make a profit, and only 4% of indie games are profitable, with more than half making less than $4,000 in revenue. There is no possible way I can even attempt this in my position at my age without outside support. Unfortunately, I wasn't born rich, and I didn't have the awareness to live as some neat and make Call of Duty videos in 2006, building up my audience from there, spewing verbal diarrhea for the sake of it.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Nor did I make a series of erotic furry fan comics to gain notoriety. Instead, I went off to work jobs, have life experiences, get married, and form a family. Ooh, so terrible life. Haha. Getting back to being tired of waiting though, I just don't care about financial success or fame. I never did outside of simple mutual respect. Or at least, I don't keep that in mind as I work towards getting projects done and building myself up. I want to make my art, I want to share my stories, and every time I think of what's in my goddamn way, it all points back to the need to work a 8-hour a day, 40-hour a week job. In college, I despised the idea of working for some corporate office, designing logos and pamphlets. I get that's how a lot of artists start, but I also don't know how I was supposed to get in there. Turns out a lot of nepotism is involved, but whatever, I don't give a shit. Animation and effects work, The more I learned about those environments and how consolidated companies have become and collectively shit on artists in that field makes me glad again I just stuck to myself and learned on my own, grinding the day-to-day and making time for my true passion as opposed to obtaining a $100,000 student loan bill with the potential of working on a major film project or show, only to be shit-canned regardless if said project is a success. Recently, for example, DreamWorks had a huge hit with Kung Fu Panda 4 and Wild Robot, yet the reward was a series of layoffs. Plenty of similar examples in the video game industry too. The only difference between me and a lot of other creatives, it seems, is just that I haven't and can't seem to find any sustainable success with it. I get compliments from strangers online, over videos and chat rooms whenever I do show my work, so I imagine it can't be that I just outright suck. There has never been much of any breakthrough, and even when there is, the momentum can never be kept up. And it's hilarious to me considering the lack of success and watching people who are much more successful than me either quit entirely, disappear, burn out, or just get arrested. I made this video titled H-Bomber Guy's plagiarism video hit my brain like a brick. In response to the James Somerton situation in regards to the plagiarism video H-Bomber Guy made, since I was a financial backer of James for nearly half a year at that point, that nearly pushed me over the edge in terms of watch time and getting my art channel monetized finally. That was nearly a year ago now. I still am at the 2,942 out of 4,000 watch hours needed. In less than a month, the watch time from that video that got me there will drop off and I'll be back to square one again. Not that it matters much, right? Remember, 0.3% make a decent living relying on this platform alone. I'm glad that I was finally willing a year ago now to set aside my stubbornness and seek to work with other people, knowing that paired with a night job, my own works will have to be placed secondary, or rather third place over work that is finally paying me. Starting 2025, roughly February, with a number of art pieces, prints, stickers, and editing gigs I have secured with Channel Awesome and Onion Nuggets, that changes. It helps to say it out loud, even to the void here, because it puts you on the spot to do it. This can be disastrous, I know. However, it's my way of being more personally fulfilled as opposed to what I'm doing now. I need to take this risk. I need to make some kind of fucking effort. Else everything that came before is for nothing.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I guess this is what happens when you have unlimited access to knowledge about the history of the country you live in, and in my case, the United States. You can't just show me how much power and control is held by those born in generational wealth, how bleak and unlikely it is to rise above that lot you currently exist in, and expect me to just work the same place for the next 35 years, making someone else richer. Cooperative workspaces should be the only legal way to conduct a business. Anything else is just a mini dictatorship. Let's be real though, and get back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Most people do this when they have huge followings and or big bucks in the bank. I have very little of both. However, I believe unless I do have the extra time to create the works I want to see, it's going to move at such a slow pace, I won't see much of anything realized. This is despite the current administration in office, despite the United States Supreme Court being set to review the Lawrence v. Texas case, which was what originally made sodomy laws unconstitutional, as well as reviewing Obergefell versus Hodges, which allowed me to at least legally marry one of my husbands. If those get overturned, then we lose our tax status, I will lose my health insurance, and our relationship's existence will be illegal in 12 states. Legally, I will be a single man who is self-employed and technically impoverished during a time of social programs being stripped further than they are now. I'm a smart person. This is also besides the fact that despite the reassurances I have from my husbands and friends that they support my pursuit in this, I still feel guilty and selfish relying on them for primary financial support. The start of this involves quite the pay cut. I'll do whatever it takes to rectify that.
Sink or swim. Chuck her in the deep end.
It's all a deep end.
I'm not just going to make videos and art projects. I want to see,
I will also be creating merchandise I intend to sell on my own store.
as well as travel to various conventions to do artist alleys, commissions, and drawing up my own short stories and graphic novels. This overall is to be treated as a note, beginning this new, scary, unknown chapter in my life. However it turns out, I am forever grateful to the people who made it possible for me that I could even consider doing this on my own. My game plan is this: late January, February 2025, making the move to drop the steady, reliable job. The days will consist of Tuesdays and Thursdays of very long editing and art making sessions, which will be streamed as much as possible on the CraftyAndy Creates channel. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be 8 to 12 art streams, 1 to 2 gaming with Squigs on Pause Off Live, and 3 to 7 will be video editing. Saturdays will be free, and Sundays will be catching up for whatever I feel the need to work on. As far as the focus is concerned, Crafty Arts, I want to do commentary on weird movies, video games, sharing stories and experiences through art and writing. Weird Stores, put on display some strange forms of furry entertainment that fuck with norm sensibilities. Commentating on the human species and their antics through the perspectives of a talking ringtail lemur. Pause Off and Pause Off Live. Streaming gaming moments of retro, indie, mainstream video games, and board games played by a horny cartoon weasel, Squigs. Whoever is here listening to this ramble, thank you. Good luck out there.